So I recently went through the Fortunespire on a few different characters, and these were the levels that I definitely struggled with the most the first time through. So I wanted to go ahead and cover them so that you can master this and get all of these sweet rewards. So first up is floor level 4. Now, this is kind of a pain in the butt, and of course, if you have a character that has a lot of health, like a gun lancer or something like that, it would definitely help. In general, you want to stay as far away from these projectiles as you can, because the farther away you are from them, the more that those little tickets or little squares that they're shooting at you will spread out. So as you can see, my positioning was not the best, but it definitely worked because I survived. I would highly suggest you bring a time stop on this floor as well. But aside from that, really, you just have to look at the things flying at you and position yourself in a way that you can go back and forth and avoid them, as you see how I'm doing. And even I had to use a time stop as well because I didn't want to get hit by another poison one and die. Used a couple of health pots in here, but we passed it. Next up is floor number 9, another survive stage. So this one was kind of a pain in the butt as well, just because later on in the stage you have someone shooting a laser, and it is a one-hit kill. So the biggest advice that I can give you is to keep moving, and this is definitely one of those stages that you can just literally run around the outside of the stage. You can see me that I'm kind of pacing myself sometimes, so I'm running in kind of a zigzag pattern like you see now, and that way I'm not running too fast, and I can really milk this running around the circle bit. And I would definitely suggest that you bring a time stop here as well, maybe a protective potion that gives you a shield. Those would be two really good battle items to bring. But aside from that, you can pretty much just run around in circles this whole time. And as long as you're pacing yourself accordingly, as you can see me, I'm kind of, dodging a little bit here and there using my space bar, then you should be just fine. Tower level 12. So the biggest problem with this boss, as you can see, is this attack where he spins after you. There's a little safe zone right beside him. You just got to give him a little hug and you'll be just fine. You can barely see it whenever the huge red circle appears around him that he's going to do the attack, but it's inside safe. He also does an attack that is completely outside safe. So my advice to you would be to kind of stay in that middle zone like I am right now. That way you can spacebar in or spacebar out if you need to. But he doesn't really have that much health. It's just about making sure that you don't get hit. For tower level 15, this is a skill point potion level. So it's a big one. You definitely want this. So this boss's attacks hurt. So make sure that you're paying attention. Just like that, she gives huge signals. She gives you plenty of time to dodge her attacks, so just make sure you're paying attention. Don't greed for damage too much, because like these attacks, those are one-hit kills for me as a sorceress. I'm not sure if they're one-hit for anyone else, but they definitely one-hit me. So just make sure and pay attention. Don't greed too much, and you should be just fine, especially if you're on a subclass or a class in general that you don't have long animations or anything like that. You will be super duper fine. But aside from that, try to save your spacebar as much as you can so you can dodge if you need to. But it's pretty straightforward. Just make sure that you are not face tanking any attacks, or you will regret it and have to restart the stage. next up is level 19. This was a pain in my butt, and I was actually moving some materials around. I couldn't believe that you could move the chest. I was like, what the heck? I gotta make sure and edit my comment on YouTube for this. So that's actually what I did right after that. But for this stage, it's really frustrating because these rock trolls are beating you up and moving you around. So my biggest advice for this stage is to make sure that you avoid the dudes in the center and then run in towards the last minute to the safe circle. But as you can see, I'm dodging the center guys because they're the biggest problem. Because if they hit you across the map, you're not going to be able to recover and get there. Like this, I barely made it into this circle. So make sure you're not getting hit by the center guys, and then run into the circle towards the last second and you will be just fine. And tower level 25, the hardest level. So this mechanic, as she starts to laugh, you can dodge it. You can either space bar out of that fear, or you can use an ultimate like I just did. But the biggest things to note are to just take your time, because really the only attacks she does are these 4 hits, and then she will try to fear you. So the fear will come, she will start doing more and more the lower her health gets. So I believe there's one right when she gets to 4 health bars, as you will see. In just a second, I actually have to space bar through that fear, but there's always going to be one right after she gets to 4 bars, and then I believe the next one is at 2 bars. As you see, I just space barred that, but I believe the next one is at 2 bars, and then she'll do it again at 1 bar if you don't kill her quick enough. So again, another laugh right there, right? She's at 2 bars. So those are things that you have to really be watching. But other than that, all she does is attack the ground 4 times. So as long as you keep those attacks relatively close together, then you'll be just fine. And you can rotate around the map in a way that they're not going to overlap and you have plenty of room to run. But guys, those are the hardest levels that I thought were in the Fortunespire. Make sure and leave a like on this video if this helped you out to pass any of those, and consider subscribing to the channel. We're almost at 2,500 subs, and I know that we can get there with your help. But I'm going to see you on the next video.